Hi everyone, Froe here for another Let's Play episode. I just noticed there's a... Where'd he go? He's over there, okay. There's a bat that's just kind of chilling around here. I was curious if we could name him and if he would stick around for a while. So let's go ahead and try that out. I don't know what to name him though. Squeak, that sounds like a good name. Especially since he probably won't stick around, he'll probably fly away somehow. Let's go ahead and name him. Cool, welcome to the island, Squeak. Hope you enjoy it. Oh, he's so happy. He's got freedom because normally they're stuck in the caves. Now he's got complete freedom. He can fly wherever. Yeah, he's a happy little Squeak. Hey, this is Future Froe. I just want to let you guys know I put a lot of time into this episode. It took me about 2 weeks to make it for one reason or another. So if you could give me some feedback about how you feel about it, let me know. Give me a like or a dislike, depending on if you like it or dislike it. And if you have any specific feedback, go ahead and give me a comment down below. Anywho, thank you for the support in last episode. I know I was gone for a while, and I really appreciate the comments you guys said about missing me and stuff. That was very kind. Makes me want to keep coming back. So we have all this oxidized copper, and by all of it, I only mean 24. But I actually have enough copper now that I turned it into our own separate little storage chest back here. I'm trying to populate our storage cove that we built a little while ago. I also migrated our end items over here and kind of reorganized it. Our minecart items and deep slate, which we actually should probably really reorganize the deep slate into 2 different chests, I think, because there's a lot of different varieties. But we'll kind of keep it as is for now. I think I also made a couple other changes to the storage room. I'm not sure though. Maybe I showed these off. Yeah, a lot of this is different. So like amethyst got reorganized. Our nether wood supply got changed. Separated from like our nether chest. Blackstone got revamped. Nether bricks got revamped. Quartz got revamped. Our basalt chest got revamped. So I think basalt I used to pair up with the blackstone, and I separated them. I moved over the green or the terracotta over to here, and I rearranged this area a bit. So just little improvements here and there are kind of nice, and I think it's important for me to keep you guys updated on them. I also noticed, I don't know when this exactly happened, but I used to have a lot of bees in this room. Like a lot, probably about 40 to 50 of them. And now there's none, right? At least as far as I can tell. They never come out of their hives. It doesn't look like they're occupied at all. So for some reason, we lost all of our bees on the island. And I'm pretty sure, kind of want to check over here. So I feel like this one, oops. That doesn't have silk touch. My bad. I just broke that. So I feel like that beehive, though, didn't have any... Well, obviously it didn't have any bees on it now that we broke it. What about these beehives? You know, there's no bees flying around, so I don't know. It's been a while since I've noticed any bees, too. Like, every once in a while, you'd see one just kind of flying around randomly in the island. So I'm not sure, but they must have disappeared, I don't know, at some point. So we should probably get some more of those. And I'm not certain. Let's check if we have any here in our bee products. So we have 7 hives, but I don't think there's any bees inside of them. Could be wrong though. Yep, none in these. And they all stack together, so that means that there can't be any. So I guess that should be our mission for today, is to get some more bees. I was asked last episode too where I got all that grass from. And so right now we're heading east of our island, and this is where I've been collecting most of our grass. You can see some of it was collected here. It's pretty simple. You just stroll up and you just start clear cutting or whatever. I mean, who cares about the environment, right? It's not my land. It's not my island. So then this is kind of like the end result of what happens after it's been clear cut. But over here, there's a little village that has been kind of the center of my resource collection. And so as you can see, I've stripped away layer by layer until we get to the stone, basically this whole village's worth of grass. Now I've been kind, I've been stealing everything, right? The villagers, first of all, they signed a contract with me, so they can't be mad at me, right? They sold the land and I was allowed to do whatever I want to it. But also look, I kept the grass fine in their village here, so they have no reason to be upset with me. Look at this. They actually love it. They're No, they're actually very happy with me. Trust me. They're not mad. They're not salty. They actually really like the stone look. If you ask them, don't ask them though, but if you were to ask them, right, they actually really like this look. They say that it's kind of like a tourist attraction. There's nowhere else that's been this stripped of resources of grass and stuff, so they think it's kind of cool. At least that's what I've been picking up whenever I think about it. There's a pink sheep! I've never seen one in this world. Woohoo! Hi! We'll come back and get you at a different time. We're looking for bees today. Just trying to wait for these guys to join the hive. It looks like they usually do it at night, so it's almost night. So let's see. Okay, yeah, they're going in. I think they had pollen though, that's why they went in. Maybe we can get this guy to join them, I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it. You want to join? Come on. Come on in. Nah, he doesn't want to join. And after a long time of collecting beehives and other resources like clay, we're back on the island finally. And I don't remember doing this, but I must have gone around and decorated our lake a little bit. You know, place sand down on the bottom so it looks a little bit better. And looks like I bone mealed it with kelp. Hey, you know, that looks pretty good. Of course, we got the rest of the lake to do as well. But this is a good start. Makes this whole area look more finished and complete. I thought I saw Squeak somewhere too. Where's Squeak? Oh, I think he's over here. Squeak? Squeak, how's it going? Enjoying the island? I think he is. He gave us a little squeak squeak. Yeah, thank you. Good. Glad you like it. The freedom is nice, isn't it? Anyways, we got bees, so what are we gonna do with them? So I'm trying to find a place to build a new building, and it's kind of a tongue twister building. It's called the Bee Breeding Building. Yes, very creative name, I know. So I got a bunch of beehives, and I want to create a facility just to breed more of them in a more enclosed and safe way. So I'm not exactly sure what that's going to look like, but I'm thinking right here is a good location to build it. Alrighty, so I'm trying to plan out what this build is going to look like. Put a little bit of thought into it. First thing is we need to raise this whole mountaintop a bit, probably like 5 to 6 blocks, just so it sticks out a little bit more. And if you notice the mountain kind of slowly slopes down this direction. I think I'm going to raise it all up and make it the same level. And then we can have one building that's a little bit skinnier, maybe like 10 blocks wide. So like starts there and ends over here. And it runs this direction in a straight line. And then connected to that, we could have a greenhouse kind of in this location that overlooks the whole valley. And the greenhouse itself is where the bees will be. And then the hallway type building that's over here is going to be where storage and a flower farm are. All right, I got some terraforming done. Here's a before and here's an after of what it looks like. And this is what it's looking like after adding in a little bit of stone. Although I didn't finish it yet, I just realized I missed a couple spots as I'm looking at it. Let's talk about the shape of our greenhouse itself. So we're going to have our greenhouse up there and a rectangular building on top of that cliffside. And so the rectangular building we're going to have running from east to west, kind of going this direction. And we have a lot of buildings that go north and south. And in our world, we have a couple buildings that run at a diagonal like this too, which I'm going to call this a 45-degree angle. And here's why I call it a 45-degree angle. We got a right angle formed by the 2 stone bricks. So there's a right angle here, and then the stone is halfway in between them. So the amount you'd have to rotate this side to get to here is 45 degrees. So on the left here, we have just a normal building that's running side to side. And if I were to keep this spruce planks stationary or like as a pivot point and rotated this building 45 degrees counterclockwise, you'd end up with this building. So the spruce planks are kind of like the same corner. This one's just been rotated that direction by 45 degrees. Yeah, that's cool and all, but what's your point? Well, I want to build a building not at a 45-degree angle, but at a 26.5-degree angle using this type of pattern. So here's a simple example of that. As we discussed, here's our original. Here's a 45-degree rotation, and this is what a 26.5-degree rotation would look like. So, you know, it's a little bit unique. Still diagonal, but slightly less so. And so here's an outline of our building. It's still a rectangular shape, but like we've talked about, it's rotated 26 degrees. I'm kind of like counterclockwise at this point when we're looking at this angle. And I think it's going to lead to a pretty awesome addition to our skyline overall. Although it's going to be a little bit tricky to actually build with because like all these little diagonal segments are only 2 blocks and we're used to odd numbers when we're building. So I think that'll be a challenge. But if we notice you have an odd number of the 2x2s or 2x1s, I guess. So we do have that oddness still in there embedded on both directions. So I think we can make it work. But the only way to know is to actually build it. So starting off, I'm thinking we're going to replace all the corners with bone blocks and maybe make them up to about 11 blocks tall. So it's generally a good idea to look at your building as you're building it from different perspectives. And so far I'm liking the height of this. It's looking pretty good. If you look at other builds we've done, we usually use bone blocks as a pillar and space them out every couple blocks, usually 3 to 5 block intervals. But that's a little bit trickier to do when you have a diagonal. So I'm thinking we're going to do a 3 block kind of gap and then we'll have a bone pillar here and then kind of repeat that pattern on this side. So 3 block gap and then another pillar. And then we're going to have a 4 block gap in between these two, but that should be fine overall. I'm not too concerned about that. As per the theme of our island, I replaced the bottom of our pillars with diorite, and now I'm not sure if we should make the walls on the diagonals like this wall and that one solid and then make just this part glass, or if we should make everything glass. After a little bit of time, I've come up with an answer. So I pushed all the pillars 1 block outwards so that they're not on the wall itself. They're going to be actual pillars, kind of going for a similar look that we did with this building here. Versus this building where the pillars are embedded in the wall, I want them to be sticking out a little bit to give more depth to the building. And I've also decided that the wall directly in front of us is going to be mostly glass, and then the 2 diagonal walls are going to be solid. So it's going to resemble the rest of the island's builds a little bit more than just a giant glass structure. So here's our first draft of the wall, and I think it's just a little bit awkwardly tall. So I think I'm going to shave it down 2 blocks so that we still have an odd height. I think that'll look a little bit better. And then also I'm going to rearrange where these 2 pillars are because I think they need to stick out just a little bit more. Man, for how simple my builds really are, there's a lot of thought that goes into making them. So here we have the pillars sticking out just a little bit more, and I think I like how that's going, so I'm going to proceed with the next step, which is mirroring this on the other side. Alrighty everyone, it's been about a day and a half since the last clip, and I made a couple big changes. The first one is we now have pillars in the front of the building. Then we also went through and removed the pillars that were on the sides. They were making the building look just a little too squarish, and I'm really going for the rectangular look, modeling it off of classic Roman temples. So that's why we have the pillars in the front, and although some temples do have pillars on the sides, I decided that in this case it just doesn't look that good. I went with a circular window kind of on the back side here, and I went with yellow glass. Gonna try different colors. So I was talking to someone the other day and they were writing a paper on ancient Rome, which I was like, oh, that's awesome. I'm really jealous of you. You get to, like, you know, learn about Rome. I think that's really fun. And they're complaining about it. They're like, oh, this is boring. This is so dumb. Who cares about Rome? They're 2,000 years old. What did they ever do for me? And I'm like, dude, we live like in America, right, on the North American continent. And if you look around at like a lot of the buildings built in our town, they're built off of ancient Roman architecture, like our courthouse, our city hall, all of our older buildings, our old library, everything we have in town that's like architecturally cool, we stole from the Romans 2,000 years ago. I think that's insane. All right, here we have light gray stained glass, and I think it is better than the yellow we had before. And here's just white stained glass. Honestly, I kind of like this one the most. It's just so clean. Doesn't really distract from the building, lets it easily see through. So my goal for this episode was to build just the bee breeding building and get some more bees and stuff like that, and be able to kind of explain my thought process along the way as we're building it. And I think it's been really fun to do, although it's been a pain in the butt to make. I've been trying to produce this episode for over 2 weeks now. And so I got ahead and I built the roof of it just to kind of save some time for myself and for the episode. This is what the roof is kind of looking like. It was a huge challenge to build. It probably took me 4 to 5 days just to work on it, because there's, the diagonal aspect of it. Hold on, gotta change our FOV back. The diagonal aspect of the build itself makes it really challenging to line up everything to make it look good. But I think I did a pretty good job of it. Of course, it's not going to look perfect because of the blockiness and the diagonals, but this is what the roof looks like from the front. Now, I don't generally like it that much, but I think it's going to grow on us. And if it doesn't, it's Minecraft, so we can always change it later on. But I do quite like it. I think it looks pretty good so far. And from the back side over here, I always try to get a lot of different angles and perspectives. So this is kind of what it looks like from the other side. I think it looks better from down here than it does on the other side, which is perfect because I have a feeling we're going to be walking by it this direction a lot more than we will on the other side. I wanted to give you guys a couple aerial views too. Now, obviously, this is inspired by Roman temples and architecture, but it isn't an exact copy. So keep that in mind. It's inspired, but not exactly the same. So we do have some creative freedom there, and I bring that up because the roof here is a slightly different style than you would expect on a Roman temple normally. But I'm really proud of how this building turned out. It's not perfect. It's got room for improvement and obviously needs more details. But overall, this is a pretty cool looking building, and I'm excited to do the interior with you guys next episode. We're going to be ending the episode here for today. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. In between episodes, I'm going to be spending some time upgrading this path here, just to make it look a little bit better and add some details and some plants and flowers and stuff like that. And then probably add some details to our bee breeding building as well. So if you have any suggestions for me about the path or the build, let me know down in the comments. Other than that, you guys have a nice one. See you around in the next episode. Bye-bye.